This is my 2016 Jeep Cherokee. It's my daily driver. And recently the check engine light came on. When I looked up the codes, it said it was a P0522, which is symptomatic of the oil sensor going out. This is what the oil sensor looks like. This little device is only $17. You can buy it on Amazon. It's really easy to get a hold of. You'll notice the size of that is a little difficult. You really can't get a wrench on it unless you have a, what is this? This is a 27 millimeter deep well socket. This little sensor will fit right directly into that, and it's real easy to, you can see it fits right in there, and it's really easy to take it in and out. The other thing is this particular sensor is located just behind the wheel back here on the passenger side. So all we need to do is jack this up, take off the skid plate on the bottom, and we should be able to swap that out really quick. So let's go ahead and get underneath it, jack this thing up, and get started. All right, so here you see we got it jacked up with jack stands. I've tested to make sure they're nice and steady. This is kind of a, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of a felt, maybe a rubber impregnated felt, but it's a very lightweight material. And it's connected with these 10 millimeter bolts all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and take these off, and then we'll drop this thing down, and then we'll get a good look at that side over there. All right, so with that shielding off, let me take you on a quick little tour of how to locate this oil pressure sensor. So probably might be easier to take the tire off, but I'm not going to do that because I really don't need to. All the access really is from underneath the car, but just for the purposes of showing you where it is, I've got my shop light listed in there. And you can see that if you go in through and you follow this little axle, you can see right there, right above that axle with the little red tab on it, that is the oil pressure sensor. That's the device that we're taking out. It's really, you know, you can gain access from underneath a little easier, but I'm just kind of get you oriented so you can get an idea of where it is from the rear wheel, or I'm sorry, from the passenger side front wheel. Just follow that little boot and you'll see it just above that axle boot right there. All right, let's go ahead and see that little red tab. We need to manipulate that so we can get the electrical connector off, and then we'll throw a deep well socket on there and pull that thing out. All right, there you go. Here's the old one. A little bit of oil comes out, not a big deal, but you're not going to see anything that looks, you know, really remarkable about it. It's just an electrical component. There is a bit of a trick to take this this connector off. Let me get this cleaned up, and I'll review with you how to take that little tab off and how the connector is supposed to come off. All right. Well, that's going to be a problem. Evidently, there's two versions. It's the same connector on the back, but little different size threads. So let's see if we can find the right part in a short order, or I'll have to put this one back in. Well, there you go. That's the right part. All right, let's get up underneath there and put this thing in. All right, we're going to get 32 pounds of pressure on there. You can see the 2 on the torque wrench, and there's the 30 mark. So it'll be 32 foot-pounds. And then we'll tighten this thing up. Now. All right, so I got this thing torqued in there, but I want to demonstrate really quick how this connector works. First of all, there's this little red thing, right? So when it's flush and it's flat, and it's difficult to get this thing to open, right? And so what you need to do is you want this to slide that way. When this was in before, it was like this, and I couldn't get to this right here, right? So it was really difficult to get in there. And so what I ended up doing was using, I mean, you can't even really push from this side. No, it won't. You have to pull it from that side. So what I used was, I have this little screwdriver looking thing with a hook on it, and I was able to get up underneath it and pull it because it was oriented funny. But you have to pull this red thing out so that it's not showing on this side. You want this to retreat completely into the connector. Let me show you what it looks like when this is disconnected. All right, so there you can see that's what it looks like when the red tab is disengaged. You can't see it on this side. It's retreated into the hole, and this is sticking out. And when that is disengaged, you can see it makes room for everything to slide nice and neat in there, right? So it's kind of oddball because depending on where the thing ends up in orientation, you don't know where that tab is going to be. You see, it can just be in anywhere around 360 degrees in there. In my case, it was right up against here, so I couldn't even touch it. But just FYI, that's how that red tab works. All right, so before we put the car back down and put the little skid plate back on, we're going to go ahead and start the car up and check for leaks. Make sure we don't have any oil leaks, and then we'll clear the codes and start the car up a couple times and make sure that the codes don't come back on startup or on run. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right. I think we're looking good. Go ahead and clear the codes. All right, so that is the installation of an oil pressure sensor on a 2016 Jeep Cherokee LTD. This is with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. If any questions, comments, put them in the comment sections. If you like any of this stuff, please do subscribe. I work on all different types of cars, mostly classic cars, but some late models too.